friends and subscribers. Welcome to the daily edition of the Cricket Happening Show with your host Ram. On this cricket show, first let me start off by saying Africa have completed the formalities in the second Test match by winning it, but not only winning the Test match, but also going on to win the Test series 2-0 with the last one coming up at the Wanderers, which we call it the Bull Ring in Johannesburg. And as far as Australia and India were concerned, it was bad light and rain, which really prevented play, which only 25.1 overs actually bowled. And in the process, the Aussies tail wagged a bit. The last partnership between Josh Hazlewood and Stark actually added some valuable runs for the Aussies, as the Aussie total ended up at 300, as they were all out for 300, with Kuldeep Yadav returning his second 5-wicket haul in Test. Was good to see. And the Aussies following on were 6 for none after 4 overs. So definitely the final day, the follow-on for the Aussies after a gap of 31 years that they have been enforced. Any team has actually enforced the follow-on them, or probably it is against India, I suppose. India has enforced the follow-on after 31 years. Back in the year 1979, there was a follow-on which was enforced at the MCG, and also we'll have so definitely the task is cut out. India have to bowl out the Aussies. There's nothing that the Indians can do. Indians have nothing to lose. They can go full tilt at the Aussies today, and the Aussies will definitely be not trying to. They would be definitely trying to guard their wicket and see to it that they graft and grind as much as possible and eke out a draw. But the forecast, unfortunately, dear friends and subscribers, is not very, very encouraging. I'm told that there would be something. There could be rain, there could be bad light, and that could probably prevent the Indians. But nevertheless, India will still go on to win the Test series, even though it ends in a draw. So that's as far as the final day of the SCG, which is coming up. And the 22nd match with the Big Bash League saw the Sixers actually briefs as well. But first, I'm heading towards the second Test. Just for no, there was nothing to really talk about, but there were a sort of events that happened. De Bruyne missed on a knock there. In fact, Bruyne was the only one to be dismissed as he was caught behind by Sarfaraz Ahmed of a bouncer from Mohammad Abbas for 4. Ball. Mohammad Amir actually hitting him on the bicep as Hashim Amla tried to shoulder arms to leave the ball harmlessly go by, but it in fact snaked in and hit him on the bicep, and Amla had to retire hurt. And but the news is that it's not so bad. So he has been, it is a sort of a bruise, so there's nothing to really worry about. And then du Plessis came out to bat, and finally Dean Elgar was the man who actually took them to victory with the boundary, not out on 4 boundaries. Du Plessis was not out on 3, 43 for 1. It was a 9-wicket victory. But the bowling was very sharp early on in the morning with a new cherry, a sort of Faf du Plessis. Due to an overrate, he has been for the final Test match against Pakistan coming up at the Wanderers in Johannesburg. Now we head towards the Sydney ground. The match between Australia and India. Rain definitely, kept on interrupting, and only 25.1 overs were bowled throughout the day between Australia and India. And talking about that, the Aussie tail wagged. I mean, India got a very quick wicket. Cummins, who has been a sort of a bugbear for India as far as batting is concerned, where he comes and really knocks the Indian bowlers. But today, he got a ball. There was no early start. The match started very late because of a damp outfield. And but India definitely, and that ended up with Cummins being a clean bowl by Mohammad Shami. After that, we saw Hanscom played a few good strokes, and after that, what one saw was that Hanscom actually went on to got an inside edge onto his stumps. So he was clean bowled by Kuldeep Yadav. So changed the spin of he was gone LBW to LBW, so he was out LBW, and as I said, Cummins was totally beaten by a real grubber coming in from Mohammad Shami. The ball never lifted off the track and went on to hit the stumps. A bit unlucky, absolutely under a lot of trouble at 258 for 9, but thanks to a 42-run partnership between the tail Mitchell Stark, who definitely can say that he's a much better bat. But Josh Hazelwood was a real tail, but both actually defied the Indian bowlers with Virat Kohli keeping a double spin attack going with Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav operating. Hanuma Vihari left a catch which provoked frustration that India endured. The Aussies were bowled out for 300 when Kuldeep Yadav got one to get Hazelwood, LBW Hazelwood shaping for the sweep. LBW will Kuldeep Yadav for 21 with 2 boundaries. Strikers left not out on 29 and out for 300 meant that India have a massive 322 and there was no question. Kuldeep Yadav 31 runs, which is second 5-wicket haul in Ravindra very well. 19 overs, 2 minutes, 2 for 58. Another good spell from Mohammad Shami. Vihari bowled just an over for 2 runs. And the Australians had just had to face 4 overs with bad light and rain preventing play. Usman Khwaja was not out on 4. Harris was not out on 2 as Australia on the final day. And I'm sure the pitch, already we have seen the grubber which came to Cummins. So keeping that in view, one would expect that for Australia, it is a matter of only survival. All that Australia would be trying to do on the final day at the SCG is to graft their way, grind their way, and see to it that they at least draw the match and not allow the Indians to go with the 3-1. But on the last day pitch, I don't think that there would be. I think there would be more wear and tear, and I think the Indian spinners might pose a lot of problems, even the pacers to that extent, for that matter. And I think that is something that one could expect. But Indians would be baying for the blood, one could say, because they would be going to knock off the Aussies as quickly as possible. They have only one goal in mind, and that is to win this test match, go 3-1, and complete an historic test series win against Australia, which has never happened in the past against Australia in Australia by India. So that is something that all the Indian public, the Indian fans, and whole of India is looking out for, because Australia definitely just shows that the Australians have dominated world cricket for quite a long time, and I think this is an offer it's talking about. So good luck, India. So, and then, and now we need to just briefly talk the second match of the Big Bash. Joe Denley was man of the match. Adelaide Strikers, who batted first, put up 150 for 5 on the board. So, Matthew Short, 16 of 19, 1-4. Dwarcius 4 overs, none for 26. Tom Curran 4 overs, 1 for 38. A bit costly there. 21 for Sean Abbott. Moises Enriquez 1 over for 6, and Steve O'Keefe 4 overs, no more than 231. Sixers were given a target of 151 to win from that 20. Denley was the who led the way for the Sydney Sixers victory, as he was there till the end. Not out on 76 of just 60 deliveries, which included 8 fours and 1 6. Avadana was out for not Hughes for 24 deliveries, Enrique 16 of 30 in 2 fours. Jordan Silk was out to the one, 15, 3 fours, 1 6, 152 for 4, game over. And Sydney Sixers got on to their victory march. Liam O'Connor, the leggy, 4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 37. This is a trip on 2, none, 20 on 1 wicket. Stanley, 3 overs for 35 was costly. Rashid Khan did a good job, 4 overs, 225. Siddle, 3 overs, none for 16. Valente, 1 over, none for 9. And the man of the match was Joe Denley. Well, the fans from the class said we are all waiting for that. But as I said, that the Indians could be deprived because rain and bad light is forecast as far as the final day the SCG is concerned. So that is something which can deprive India of a 3-1 victory against the Aussies. But nevertheless, India can still take it. India would have completed a historic Test series win. So I'm sure all the Indians are looking out to that for sure. Well, dear fans and subscribers, a pleasure bringing you this daily cricket show, cricket happenings as usual. And it's about time for me to push up the wind-up button here for the day. And I'll be seeing you folks tomorrow with